All right, for years, the president has said that fixing the country's healthcare system is essential to revitalizing the economy. But one group of Americans is challenging that claim. Fox News medical contributor Sonara Coomer has the story. Sonara.
Thanks, Sean. Small business owners will bear the burden of the president's healthcare bill. And some are sounding the alarm that this bill threatens to transform not only the country's economic landscape, but our way of life. Take a look.
We will have universal health care in America by the end of the next president's first term.
We did not come to fear the future. We came here to shape it.
Let us transform this nation.
We need to get this done.
The Democrats said their health care bill would bring much needed change. But to small business owners, that promise has fallen flat. Businesses around the country are suffering under the policies enacted by this administration. As Michelle Melkin reported last month, the president's health care bill saddles them with taxes and penalties that many say will force them to raise prices, lay off workers, or both. And the entrepreneurs we spoke to are issuing a dire warning.
We are done.
This law, they say, is the first step towards a nationalized healthcare system and a radical transformation of this country. The owner of this IHOP is one of the many small business owners feeling the pain from the president's healthcare bill.
Our side of the wall here, the small business guy saying, hey, help, we have a bad economy, we're not making it, we're having a hard time paying our bills, but now you want to drop this other brick on us, and we have no idea how we're going to pay for it.
There's just one way for business owners like George Ebinger to recoup the cost of this bill: by raising prices.
I believe it's going to erase the profit margin unless I raise my sales up 22% per unit.
Ebinger won't be the only one affected by the new law. His customers will see changes too.
An omelet costs you $8 today. You know, after health care, you're going to come in and pay $9.75 for it.
I'm ready.
Under the health care bill, the government will fine businesses that do not provide health insurance $2,000 per employee every year. This fine is supposed to incentivize business owners to insure their workers. But from what we saw, this so-called reform won't have the intended effect.
My cost of health care is going to be over $500,000, all right, for health care. The cost of the fines anywhere between $220 and $330. You know, what, as a small business person, what am I to do?
It seems like this is really limiting your ability to grow, which seems to go against everything we know about the American dream, right?
Yes, I can't afford, you know, I mean, we opened this location here, we provided 40 jobs that weren't here before. I don't want to be the guy that looks at them and says, hey, look, I have to close, not because you were bad employees, but because I can't afford to keep the door open.
Entrepreneurs around the country echoed Ebinger's complaints. Dan Theistrup's company, Adventure Glass, makes paddle boats for amusement parks and zoos around the world.
The products we're making, all the big amusement parks and those places to have them.
Theistrup fled the socialistic policies of his native Denmark for the liberty of the U.S.
We liked the freedom of the United States, the positive government towards free enterprise and all that.
But he says the healthcare overhaul is taking the country in the wrong direction.
At some points we joke around and say that we're not working for our customers, we're working for the government.
It means not only changing the healthcare system, but also changing our expectations of government and of one another.
Down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Patricia and Wayne Felder started their auto parts business over 20 years ago.
My husband and I have worked 20-hour days, most of our young lives, to be in the position that we're in today, in our 60s, to be able to be, we thought, take a break. Well, we don't think so anymore.
That's in part because the cost of insuring their employees is skyrocketing. But the new health care bill won't do anything about that.
Insurance companies have already warned us. They just don't have any idea what their costs are going to be.
Dave Ratner, the owner of a pet supplies chain with 5 locations throughout Massachusetts, voiced the same concern.
This thing does not look at how to control costs. And that is just the scariest part of this whole health insurance deal.
Morning, girls.
GOP Congressman Paul Ryan has long argued that the Democrats' law is actually intended to socialize our health care.
The law is basically designed to encourage employers to dump their employees in the government-run plan and wash themselves of the notion of offering health insurance to their employees.
Both Ratner and Felder argue that the answer to our problems lies with private industry, not the government.
Private industry does a better job of everything.
If you want to control costs, then what you need to do is you need to encourage competition, which this law does not do.
If we could just get government out of our business, we could pull this country back together in a heartbeat.
Business owners warn that given the burdens this bill imposes on them, it will discourage the entrepreneurship that has been a hallmark of the United States since its founding.
When you don't have a clue what one of your line items is going to be, I don't know how you even develop a realistic business plan.
It's an honorable and noble thing to provide health care, but if it's not affordable and business can't afford it, where's business going to be 3 years from now?
But those we spoke to are most worried about what this bill will do to our healthcare system itself. What kind of healthcare system do you think we're headed towards?
I believe I believe this is the first step towards a nationalization of healthcare.
We will end up with socialized medicine, and we'll be in the same boat that Europe is in.
Paperwork is going to be more important than the actual fixing people's health.
By allowing the government to bestow a right to health care on its citizens, President Obama is setting a dangerous precedent.
He's offering us a universal right to health care, but what the government giveth, the government taketh away.
This new law presumes that government can give us rights, like health care. The problem is, when we have government manufacture and deliver rights, such as a need like health care, well, then it's government's business to ration, to regulate, to redistribute that right.
If that happens, this country is set for a radical transformation.
If we come to understand that our rights depend on government, why shouldn't we depend on government?
It encourages a culture of dependency so that more and more people live on the government than upon themselves for their livelihood.
America will not be the home of the free and the land of the brave in quite the same way as it was before. We'll have been ground down, I think, by our dependency on government and our resentment at that dependency.